welcome to the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce Chamber Vibes podcast. Foster and I are back again this week with another guest.
Woohoo!
First, I would like to mention Taste of Bedford that was last week and just thank all of our members and community members that are listening who helped make that event successful. We're very excited and pleased with the exhibitors and the turnout and everything. So it's a great event all the way around.
Thank you guys for helping us make it happen.
So we have a few upcoming events as usual. We're going to mention 3 of them this morning. The first one is actually tomorrow, Thursday, August 24th, and that is going to be a business roundtable with the Bedford County Economic Development, and Foster's been working with them directly on this event. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Bedford County Economic Development, they do a quarterly business roundtable. And this time we're partnering together, and it's going to be tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Bedford Area Welcome Center. And we actually have 2 different partnering organizations who are going to be presenting. The first one is going to be Virginia CareerWorks. Tim Saunders is going to come and talk about hiring incentives and other ways to source diverse candidates and ways to, fund professional development for your current workers. So it's just going to be a lot of great knowledge that will then tie in to the second half of the training, which will actually be a training. So DARS, which is the Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services. Everybody, Kayla's smiling at me because she knows how much I hate saying the full name. But they're going to be coming and doing what they call a windmill training. So it's going to be a disability awareness training. It'll be a great opportunity. I've done a DARS training before, and you kind of go in not really sure what exactly they're going to say or how it's going to, assist you with your day-to-day task. But it really does give you a lot more tools to just be more aware of people, how to talk to people, how to include them in the workforce, and how you can, find spaces and tools for disabled people, for neurodivergent people in the workplace. And yeah, just it all ties together with diverse candidates and hiring. So I'm really excited. I think it'll be a really cool thing, and it's free. So all you have to do is RSVP on bedfordareachamber.com. You can email me at marketing@baccva.org if you want some more information. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be there. Kayla will not because she's going to a conference. But it should be a really great time. We already have a good crowd signed up.
Yeah, I think it'll be really awesome, and hopefully we can do it again so I can attend.
Yeah.
So the next event that we'll mention is on Thursday, September 7th, and we're partnering again with someone for this. This is our charcuterie and technology. We're partnering with Data Privia, and Foster, you again have been working directly with Teresa on this event, so tell us a little bit about it.
Crazy when you're the event director and you're working with people on events.
Yes, shocking.
So I'm really excited about this one in particular because Data Privia is kind of a newer member of ours, and they've already shown up and shown out, and their newest rep, Teresa Bryan, who's a sales rep for the Bedford area, she has really noticed that there's a need for education in technology and just ways to be ways for employers and employees to be more efficient and safer with technology. So we're partnering with them to do charcuterie and technology. Really exciting. I think this is going to be an awesome event. There'll be self-serve charcuterie and such. The first one, because we're going to be holding it every month on the first Thursday, the very first one is going to be held at CVCC in Bedford, and the topic is, what is a secure network and why does my business need one? So you might think you know what a secure network is, but if I asked you to explain it, you probably could not do so. So if you're interested, come by CVCC in Bedford from 4 to 5 p.m. on September 7th. You can RSVP on our website just to make it a little bit easier for all of us so we can make sure that we have you on the list and that we have enough charcuterie for everybody. But it should be really cool. Melissa Ogden, who is their chief operating officer, is an amazing speaker. She actually spoke at Taste of Bedford last week. So if you got to see her last week, come see her again. But yeah, that's September 7th, 4 to 5 p.m. at CVCC in Bedford.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another really awesome. It's just so great when we're able to partner with so many different businesses and organizations to bring stuff like this together. And then the final event that we'll mention on the podcast this morning is our annual gala. It is coming back on Thursday, September 14th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Cedar Oaks. So we're really getting close to the date of the gala. We do still have some seats available, so if you're interested, go ahead and go on the website and get those. We'll have to close registrations by the 31st of August. But again, another really fun event. This is our biggest fundraising event of the year. We will have our awards ceremony for our Excellence in Business Awards winner. We'll have dinner by Blackwater Creek Catering, his famous New York style cheesecake that's so delicious. We'll have a cash bar, a silent auction. It's just a really cool night to get together with so many people in Bedford and get to network, but in a more kind of laid back environment with dinner, and you can mingle over the silent auction.
There's so many people that I've, reached out to just to invite them, and they respond. They're like, oh, it's my favorite chamber event. I'll definitely be there. And it just, I don't know, I think it's sweet because, we're all going to have a great time there regardless of what it is, but it is going to be genuinely amazing. And I'm really looking forward to revealing some of our winners for our Excellence in Business Awards.
Yes, I cannot wait. So we have, like I said, a few more seats available. If you're interested, just go to bedfordareachamber.com, or you can call us at the office and we can get you registered from the back end. We have lots more events happening as usual. So if you want to see all the things that we have going on, the best way to look at it is on our website, and you can look at it a couple different ways, a calendar of events or just a list of events. So if you have any questions, reach out and we'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Yep. Alrighty, well, I will get on with the actually exciting portion of this podcast. Our guest just did something funny. Well, good morning and welcome to Erica McFadden, who's the manager for the Bedford Farmers Market.
Hello, thanks for having me on. I am going to the gala and I'm super excited.
Yay!
Yes, it was so fun last year and the food is delicious and it was great to see all the winners. It was so fun.
Yes, and now you're a dual finalist.
Oh gosh, I can't believe it. That was so crazy.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it. You have a lot of loving fans out there because I don't know if people know this, but our awards, all the nominations come from people in the community who nominate their favorite businesses, their favorite people, and just people who they think deserve to be recognized.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah.
For my nomination for the Stitch Witch, my yarn shop, I invited the young lady who helps me out all the time, and she was kind of like, oh, are you sure? And can I bring my husband? I'm like, yes, you and your husband are invited. And then later on, she was like, did you know I nominated you? And I didn't. I hadn't known. I didn't know that. So she thought, oh my gosh, did they tell her? So I invited the right person. It was kind of cool.
Oh, well, I'm happy you'll all be there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Y'all should come.
Exciting. Well,
buy a ticket.
We'll be there too. Well, before we get started with all the questions, can you give us a little bit about your background and about the farmers market?
Well, my background is in education, and at one point or another in 2018, I took a sabbatical and then never returned to the classroom for one reason or another. And in 2019, we were asked to run the farmers market. And after sleeping on it, I decided that might be kind of a good idea. So I roped my husband into helping me out. And we took it over in July of 2019. So it's around our fourth year and change doing it. So that's pretty cool. And we've just had the best time figuring out how to grow it, how to get new vendors, how to have more music and expand. And it's been a lot of fun. So that's kind of how we started. It's kind of this random ask, and here we are. Loving it.
Well, awesome. It's always good to hear that people like the volunteer positions that they hold.
Yeah, and this is a volunteer position, being the manager for sure. So anything that goes on with the market is a volunteer position. So, yeah.
Well, awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about the market growth from 2019 to now? Where were you? Where are you going?
So when we took it over, it had dwindled a bit to about 3 or 4 vendors. So we started our first day at the market with about 13 people who decided to come back and give it a try when the management changed, which was fantastic. And we had a good rest of that season. It was fun, and people started to come out and kind of see what we were about. And we used to be on Fridays. So 2 years ago, I think we changed to Saturdays. I think last year was our first full season of Saturdays, and we increased our population of patrons times two. So in the height of the season, before we were seeing maybe 150 to 250 people. Now we see in between 400 and 600 people in the height of the season.
Wow.
So that's pretty great for us. And I don't know that I want to be a ginormous market. I think that's a fantastic number.
Yeah.
And we certainly get more during our holiday markets, which we added to kind of do a little bit of expansion and give the vendors an opportunity to continue to sell at the market during November and December. And those were very popular markets. So we're super excited about that. We have about 5 spaces left. So if there's any artisans, bakers, people who make their own items who would like to participate, you certainly can contact the market and see if we can't get you in with one of our 5 remaining spaces.
That's crazy.
So,
5 remaining spaces.
Already. And it's not till the 3rd week of November for the first one and 3rd week of
Wow.
December for the second one. So that's been really cool. So you'll see your favorite vendors that you always see every weekend and a lot of new people who like venture out during the holidays to do their holiday selling and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we added monthly off-season markets to just have some continuity so people knew that we were still here. And then we kick it off the first weekend in May and go through the first weekend in October. And we've just had so many new people and so many loyal vendors that have been with the market for years and years and years. And it's just a fantastic mix of folks who love Bedford, love local, like for their dollars to go back into the community. And it's fantastic. And we just have some wonderful patrons too. We see the same faces every week, but then we get new faces too.
Yeah.
And they become regular patrons. And we see their kids. And we've known some of these children from the time they were in a stroller and now they're 4 or 5. And so that's kind of fun. It's been really nice to see the expansion of something that feeds into the community so much and gives back. So your dollars stay right here in Bedford County when you spend them at the farmers market. And the more people that come in and the more vendors that we have, it just expands that. And so folks come in from out of town, folks visit the different farmers markets in the area, and they stay in Bedford for lunch or they shop. And it's just a great way to get people into Bedford, to visit and enjoy and, honor our Bedford Boys Tribute Center and the D-Day Memorial and spend their dollars and their time and their energy here in Bedford where it's really appreciated.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
So there's so much good stuff happening with the farmers market. I love to go there. We talked about this before, but I used to live in Bonita and now I live in town. So I live like 3 streets over from where the farmers market is.
Nice.
And I love just like pop in, see what's there, grab some vegetables for my weekend. And it's just very wholesome. It's always like, I hate to say it's good vibes only, but it really is. It really is.
We worked super hard at that. I mean, one of the problems was it didn't have that kind of family feel where people enjoyed going. And some of the best compliments I get are, "This is a great place to take my kids."
Yeah.
Or, "This is the first place I took my baby." And I love that. I know. And we enjoy having people with their leash dogs and whatnot. And just they feel it's safe to bring their kids and their pups out and come as a family. So we have expanded our music programs. We've had music nearly every time.
Yeah, I love hearing the music.
Yeah, it's fun to have. That gives it an extra fun vibe, like you said. So we work hard at promoting an atmosphere that is comfortable and fun and family friendly, and it's just a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were there with Winsome Sears, who's the lieutenant governor, for those who don't know, I felt like she really enjoyed the farmers market. We completely derailed the schedule because she wanted to talk to everybody. She took a lot of time to get to know the vendors and speak to community members who were there. And I also had the opportunity, just like, because I was there, I was just talking to people. And it was really cool. There were people there that were, there with their kids or just like, oh, who's that? But there were also people that were like looking at becoming a vendor and talking to the vendors themselves. It was just like, there was a lot going on, but everybody was just excited to be there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She told me coming to the market was like a vacation because this is like a vacation. She was so nice. I just love the attention she paid to not just each vendor, but especially we had some young vendors there, a family of young ladies who come and sell jewelry, and she spent time talking to them and looking at and asking them questions and looking at what they brought. And I just really enjoyed how attentive she was to these people who come out and spend the time. I don't think people know how much time it takes to vend at a farmer's market. The making of the items, the baking of the goods, the getting things together, the getting up early in the morning and packing everything and moving there and setting up your station and breaking it down at the end of the day. It's just, and then dealing with people all day, like for those 4 hours, it's a lot. It's a big day. And, she seemed to appreciate all of that work, and that was fantastic. It was a good visit.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned some of the young people.
Yeah.
Whenever I go there, there's always young people with their own booths or just like walking around, like helping out with their parents. Can you talk about some of your work with your young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of started with a young man who was over here at Liberty High School, Kevin Pinchoud. You might know
Kevin
him.
lives on my parents'
Kevin.
road.
Yeah, so he was great, and he came out and with the things that he'd grown and made and whatnot, and
Awesome.
he's one of those people who will tell everybody about the market. He was like a great just telling everybody, and he had such a good time with it, and we were so happy that he was able to come out and get that kind of agricultural experience.
Yeah.
Of course, he went off to Virginia Tech to kind of study the back end of agriculture, and
That's awesome.
that was really cool. So it kind of started with Kevin. And I kept telling him, what's your business name? What's your business name? He's like, well, he kind of came up with one, but I was calling him Farmer Kevin for so long that I think somebody
Kevin
saw him in the grocery store and was like, Farmer Kevin. So that stuck. So yeah, we love him. And it started kind of with him. And then we were approached by the Virginia Tech Extension Office, Bedford County 4-H, and Mary Beth Martin over there asked if we could maybe team up and do like a next generation youth farmers market and extending it to teaching the kids about businesses. So they'll have 2 or 3 classes, and they'll start with them and teach the kids about branding. Like, do you have a logo, and what does it look like to have a product, and what is your product going to be, and how are you going to produce it, and talk about the finances of producing it, and how much you're going to charge for it. So they get the kids kind of set up with their product, and then they come to the farmers market, and I talk to them about that end of it. So we have a whole class in an empty pavilion. We do a little setup where we can look at what a nice booth looks at and what maybe kind of an empty booth looks like, and teach the kids what that means in getting customers and what they have to do to speak to people and say hello, because you can't just sit there. You have to actually interact with the people. And then they spend one day each month of the season, like once in, I think, June, July, and August. Usually, I think we did it like May, June, and July this year, but once a month they come out and we have a kind of a market within a market. So there's 5 or 6 kids selling with us as the next generation farmers market. And that has been a fantastic success. It's been going on for 3 years now. And the kids are amazing. What they come up with, their energy and the support of their parents is just fantastic. So it's really good to see that. And we love that program. And we enjoy anybody who comes out. Like, we've had some new kids this year. We have a Bro and Sis Fresh Squeezed Lemonade coming out.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so they'll come again this week. They'll be there. So come and support this kiddo who's doing that, and with his family. And Tyler's Handmade Goods and Produce. He comes out with his mom and with the things that they've grown and made. And we have a group of young ladies who comes out and sell. The Mumford family comes out and sells. And who else? Grace Designs. She does jewelry and writes children's books. So she has that kind of item out there. She's amazing, and they're all amazing. I don't even know why I'm picking on one, but because every kid who puts that time and energy in to be an entrepreneur of sorts at that age, whether you have parental support or not, it's a lot of work. And so we just love them, and we try to encourage them to come to the market by the first year they come, not charging them for their booth space. So that allows them to get some revenue going. And then if they want to come back the next year, which we usually have them return a little bit the coming season, then the booth space fee will apply. But we like to give them that opportunity to make some money and not have to worry about that. And then they can put that $25 per day fee back in their bank account and work it towards their business. So we just love it. It's just a great way to get kids interested in the market. Other children come and see kids selling and are like, wow, maybe I could do that. And then we can always give a good old plug to the I think all good things Christmas market that's been happening for the last couple of years. It's an entire kids related thing, and we just love that too. I just love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Me and Kayla are just sitting here smiling.
Yes, because we love farmers markets
We
so
do.
much.
We do have somebody to pick from in this area. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I live like 5 minutes from the Forest one, so normally I do go to Forest just because I don't want to drive all the way to Bedford on a Saturday morning. But Mary Jo runs the well, and she works on Saturday morning, so some Saturdays I'll come to the farmers market in Bedford and then stop by the well and hang out with her for a while.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Forest is huge, so there's always something going on there. And there's the new startup in, it's not called Mini, it's the other M.
It is Manita, I think.
No, so Manita has the one there. And
Montvale.
Montvale.
Montvale has one too now.
Manita has the small one going that's run by the same person who does the Forest Market. And then Montvale, they're doing one to raise money for that community center they want to make out of the school where the library is housed.
Yeah.
So they have the little market going there. And then there's Bedford. So you have this little circle of markets that you can attend. It's kind
of probably can make it a whole Saturday morning event just to go to all of them.
Yeah. So my husband runs Osland Creek Livestock, and so he has some customers who are kind of loyal to him, but they live in Forest, but they'll visit the Forest Market, and then they'll come to Bedford and do a circuit there. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's some really loyal farmers market patrons out there, and we so appreciate that, and we love seeing them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I feel like I always betray that we get talking points before the podcast, but there's some things it really does help. I have a lot of questions, just like I love to talk to people in our conversation. I'll pick things out and I just want to know more, but there's some things on here that I see it, I'm like, I gotta ask what this is. So the SNAP program, is that what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
Well, I worked for the Employment Commission. I'm thinking like SNAP, food benefits and stuff.
Yes. So
okay. Is that what
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program?
Yeah.
And people can use their electronic benefit transfer EBT cards
to
buy tokens at the market and spend those on bread, vegetables, and fruits, meats, things like that. All the basic food groups, like you can't buy soap or artisan things, so you have to buy food with it. And so what we do is no matter how much you buy in tokens are worth $1 a piece, you get $20 extra for produce, which is super cool. So we've been trying to grow that program. It's been a little slow this year because there's a program going on right now that's giving away free vegetables at some of the places where people who might utilize SNAP come from. So we're like, how do we grow our program now?
Yeah.
But we do have it. So if you come to the market and you want to use your EBT benefits, you can come to the market manager and I will sell you tokens, $1 a piece, and you get 20 free extra to spend on produce, so fruits and vegetables, which is really great. We have some.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's good. We have some fantastic families who utilize that program, and it's just great to be able to know that they can get that extra bit for their healthy eating and their kids and everything like that. So yeah,
that's awesome. I feel like that's something that I didn't know that you could do, especially at like a non-grocery store like chain type thing. But I mean, we have lots of food deserts in our county, so it's nice to hear that people are taking care of that. People in our community can still get organic food, homegrown food.
Absolutely.
Especially like the produce at the Bedford Farmers Market. I often will like buy what I think is a lot, and then they're like, "Oh, it's $3." I'm like, "For all this?"
Well, yeah, I think people try really hard to keep that market value fair.
Yeah,
and I love that we've grown our produce so much. I think sometimes when people think about the farmers market, they're thinking back in a couple of years. Oh, they really don't have anything. We do. We have like 6 produce vendors, and for the mid-sized market, small to mid-sized market that we are, to have 6 people dedicated to having produce is fantastic. So I think I'm really happy with that this year. So we've had all sorts of produce this year.
Yeah, you guys also have some really interesting like produce vendors. I'm thinking of Young Shiitake because they were so nice, and I never tried shiitake mushrooms, and they're like telling me how to do it, and they're like, "Girl, these are fresh off the log," and I was like, "Yes, fresh off the log."
I'd be like, "What's a log?" When I first started, I'm like, "I don't understand." I've learned so much. They'll be back at the market September 9th. So
awesome.
We're looking forward to having them again. And we have a couple of really fantastic people out there who sell produce besides Young Shiitake coming back on the 9th of September. We have Sativix Agricultural who brings all sorts of interesting things. He had like yellow watermelon, which I'd never heard of before. People didn't ask for it, but I'm like, I don't know what that is, and I don't think anyone has it. He's got it. And then Something Special Farms, they bring things from their produce stand out in Manita to the market, and Hidden Meadows, they bring lots of great stuff. Usually when they have corn, last year they backed a truck of corn up, and
oh my gosh,
it was gone like that. It was like it was insane. I'm like, back the truck up, it's fine. So they did. And then my husband grows. He sees the produce scalp and then retired in September of last year. So now we have produce too alongside the meat that we bring. So and then every once in a while somebody will come out with something new. Oh, last week when I wasn't there, we had Gypsy Gardens, and they're a new produce person, and that's pretty exciting to have somebody new. Yeah. Do you have produce out there? Is anybody out there growing a kitchen garden and don't know what to do with your extras? Bring it to the market.
I actually told my uncle, because my whole family, they grow like ridiculous vegetable gardens.
Mhm.
I don't know why they do that themselves. It's so much work.
Yeah.
But but my uncle, he just has so much stuff, and he is a single dad. So I'm like, you cannot feed you and your child all that stuff. He's like, yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to like get signed up at the farmer's market. Well, I gave him your email and your phone number, and this man he just showed up to the Manita farmer's market day of with all his stuff in the back of his truck. I'm like, one, you're not in the right place. Two, you didn't tell anybody you were coming.
Well, I hopefully that wasn't a problem, and they just
It wasn't. He ended up donating it all to like charities and stuff.
Oh no!
Because you can't just show up with a truck full of stuff with like.
You can show up to the Bedford market with a truck full of stuff. Now, I actually would like you to call me first, but if you do, I won't be mad.
That's awesome. I'll tell him that.
No, I mean, we always like to know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
However, we have had people come and be like, hey, I have all my cabbages here. I'm like,
sell your cabbages.
Put it on the table. It's fine. We tend to be slightly more flexible just because that's how we roll. And I mean, unless somebody is being like rude, I don't.
Yeah.
Just come. But yes, I like to know first, however, you know.
If you bring the truckload of produce, we won't say that. But yeah, that cracked me up. I had to tell you that. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been chugging right along.
We have.
Yeah. So, are you looking for volunteers?
I am looking for volunteers. So when I wasn't also running another retail store, I had a little more time on my hands to get things together and do it myself. But because the market is growing and we have more patrons, we're bringing more children and whatnot, I would love to have volunteers to run a children's program. And we already have the materials. I would put all that together, package together for people. And I would just need people to man the table and make sure the kids knew where they were going and check the children in and stuff like that. So it would be nice to have somebody running that. It would also be nice to have somebody run the SNAP program, which is super easy. You just run the cards and give out the tokens and, you hand that over to me at the end. But just to free up some of my time to actually troubleshoot, make sure everybody knows what they're doing. So we'd love a couple of volunteers just to, even to help set up and break down tents. It just... Because the volunteers that we have, that's what they do. They set up our cones. They help with tents and they, get everybody set up and make sure all is running well. But it'd be nice to have somebody to run a children's program and someone to run the SNAP program. So if you're interested in any of those items, they are very helpful to the farmers market. We'd love to have you. So you can get in touch.
So for the children's program, are you talking about like for youth vendors or?
So it's not so much youth vendors, it's the kids who visit the market. So if you're interested in the Bedford 4-H program, I would suggest contacting Mary Beth Martin at the Virginia Tech Extension Office because she has all of that information because that really does come straight from them. We just partner with them. So for the children's program, it's called the POP program, the Power of Produce. And the kids can come check in. They get a little passport. There's an activity for them to do. There's usually like a cute little coloring page. And their activity might be find a tomato. And we enlist the vendors' helps so to have a tomato there that they can taste. Or, they little scavenger hunts. Or some other kind of like scientific type of activity.
Yeah.
Like if the master gardeners were to come, they usually have a children's activity. So that day it might be directing them to where the master gardeners are. And they usually have specimens and samples where they'll have like cocoons and things for them to look at.
Awesome.
So they're fantastic.
I love the master gardeners.
Oh my gosh. They've been such a great, I'm so glad they came out this year. They've been such a great addition. So little things like that. So it's mainly activities that have to do with nature and farming and agriculture for the kids to do so they understand a little more of what's going on in their community with agriculture and learn a little more. And they can taste fun food. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a whole packet that you get if you're part of the Farmers Market Coalition.
Yeah.
And that's just something that they provide so you can extend the market to children and help them understand how things work at the farmers market. So
this has been awesome. I feel like I've learned so much about a community staple that I even use. Like I didn't know half these things. I just like the vibes.
You just dipped your toe in. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
It was such a pleasure to come and talk to you both and give a little more information about the market and just say thank you to the people who nominated the market for the Chamber Agribusiness Award, because that made me so happy. I'm like, oh, someone noticed all the cool things that the vendors do, the hard work that the vendors do, and the work that our volunteers do,
and the work that you do.
Yeah. Oh well.
Don't be humble.
It's like a huge event every week, but you know, I always like to say we have the right people on the bus.
Yeah.
And we really do. So.
Well, awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I do not. Just a big old thank you to our vendors and to you guys and to all the patrons who come out and support us. We are just blessed with all of that. So thank you.
Well, awesome.
Yes.
And if people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way to do so?
So they can either do that by email at mybedfordmarket@gmail.com, which is on our Facebook page. It's not too hard to find, Bedford VA Farmers Market. Or they can call me at 540-494-1078.
Well, awesome. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Foster. Thanks, Kayla.
Of course. And Foster and I will be back next week. I'm sure we have another guest because our podcast schedule has been so
Filled up for the whole year.
So keep a lookout next week for the next Chamber Vibes podcast.